Welcome to another entry from the Omni-Bestiary. Today we once again return to the world of Pokemon to explore the region of Paldea, a vibrant land of culture, cuisine, and creatures, as well as one filled with great mystery and danger. On this episode, I have the great honor of presenting a truly magnificent, and not to mention recently discovered, specimen found roaming around this realm, one who both epitomizes the qualities of power and versatility. The legendary paradox Pokemon, Koraidon.
Keep counting that flawed flashback reptile of yours, my organic parallel. There's little doubt our audience knows which of our beasts is the superior life form.
Before we begin, it is important for today's discussion that we first talk about another Pokemon, Cyclizar, the Mount Pokemon. Cyclizar is a large dragon and normal type Pokemon, commonly seen dashing about the plains of Paldea. This green and black reptile can easily be identified by its helmet-like casque, as well as by its properly protruding throat sac. Cyclizar tends to expand this sac, and curl up its tail into wheel-like shapes while running, which gives it an appearance unmistakably reminiscent of a motorcycle. Of course, this is suiting for this animal, as Cyclizar is a popular mount for the people of Paldea, with records of them being domesticated for such a purpose going back around 10,000 years ago. Which begs the question of whether or not the modern bicycle was modeled after this Pokemon in this world. But what we know for a fact is that this purpose is mutually beneficial for both humans and Cyclizars. As a reptile, Cyclizar is an ectothermic organism, or one that can't naturally maintain a stable body temperature. To combat this, ectotherms heat themselves with external sources, such as by lying on a heated rock or by standing in direct sunlight. Cyclizar, however, employs a rather novel method for keeping itself warm, by absorbing the body heat of whoever is riding it. This also has the benefit of providing the specimen a degree of comfort. In exchange, humans are able to travel from town to town on an all-terrain speedster that can reach speeds of 150 km per hour or 70 miles per hour while carrying a passenger. Of course, this Pokemon has also seen popular use in the sport of Pokemon battling. In particular, many World Tournament class trainers gravitate towards Cyclizar, not for its power to unleash streams of draconic energy on its opponents, but for its ability to use the shed tail technique, where Cyclizar intentionally severs its own tail from its body and tags after one of its allies, whom uses that tail as a decoy. This would sound gruesome to the unaffiliated, but this action of sacrificing one's own tail is a common defense mechanism among reptiles. This act, known as a tautome, can be seen in species like geckos and iguanas when they're cornered by a predator. To try to get away, these reptiles will drop their tails, in the hopes the predator will focus on the tail, still twitching for residual neural signals. This is intended to give the reptile an opening to escape. Now, although this tactic will give the reptile immediate protection, and the tail will eventually regenerate, this can still prove to be heavily risky for the reptile's survival. You see, the tail is also an important site of fat storage for these creatures, which means that losing their tail also means losing all of the energy they've kept in reserve. Thus, unless they can consistently collect prey, they are at risk of starving to death while their tail regrows. And this isn't even mentioning the locomotion issues, infection risks, and multitude of other issues associated with the strategy. Hence this, out of concern for this Pokemon's well-being, is why some competitive Pokemon training organizations have made the use of shed tail illegal in many of their competitions. At least I think that's why it got banned? I don't know, I don't follow sports too much. But anyway, why do I speak of this Pokemon when I state my intention to discuss a different creature? Well, it's simply because that the specimen we're about to talk about is, in fact, a distant ancestor of Cyclizar, one of many ancient species of Pokemon who were brought to a modern age by a time machine created by scientists with zero concern for maintaining ecological stability. The entity I'm of course talking about is the Wing King Koraidon. The dragon fighting type Koraidon, standing a little under twice its descendant's height and weighing almost 5 times as much, is a majestic beast, adorned with crowns of blue and white feathers upon its powerful red body. Now there's one word that perfectly describes Koraidon. It would be adaptable. In nature, an adaptation refers to specific tools that animals have developed in their evolutionary history to help them survive in the wild, whether it be a way to hide from predators, a method to catch prey, an ornament to woo their mate, or an addition to help cope with extreme environments. For Koraidon, its adaptations are suited for quickly traversing the primitive wilderness of ancient Paldea. This Pokemon has the power to rapidly adjust its body depending on which obstacles it needs to power through. The sprinting build lets it speed across open fields just like Cyclizar, and has the strength to dig into cliff faces to scale them with ease. If in need to cross bodies of water, it can switch into the swimming build, where it expands its throat sac to function as a flotation device, and paddles along with its webbed feet. And with its gliding build, Koraidon extends the feathery tendrils on its head to gently soar across the skies. Now, these aren't exact one-for-one copies of Koraidon's various builds, but the reptiles of your world are known to exhibit adaptations similar to those that I just discussed. Geckos are, of course, able to cling onto walls using their lamellae, which increases the surface area on their toes. The infamous basilisk, or Jesus lizard, can dart across water with their lightweight, large feet, and heavy gait. And the flying lizards of genus Draco have the ability to glide from tree to tree thanks to the membranes along their ribs. These are truly impressive adaptations, ones that illustrate the variety of tactics that exist in nature. But none of these reptiles have the capacity to wield all these adaptations at the same time like Koraidon can. Speaking of which, Koraidon also has an additional, more imposing form known as the Apex build. When challenging its foes in battle, it adopts a bipedal posture and fans out its feathers to exert its full power. In addition, its Orichalcum Pulse ability recreates the warmer climate of its prehistoric homeland, invigorating both itself and its fellow time-displaced allies. Although it can't warp reality or control the very nature of life and death like other legendary Pokemon, Apex build Koraidon is still on par with them in terms of physical strength. It's perfectly capable of tearing apart its adversaries with its teeth and claws, though its favorite technique is to leap a whopping 65 feet or 20 meters into the air and dive into them at full force with collision course. Indeed, Koraidon is a truly fearsome creature to be confronted by, but it is surprisingly very easy to befriend, assuming your possessions of splendid-looking sandwiches. And if you earn its trust, it'll let you ride on it at aid in your travel. Yes, between its flexible locomotion methods, fair temperament, and raw power, I can truly say without any doubt that among all the animals ridden as steeds in the Omni-Bestiary, that Koraidon stands at the absolute pinnacle.
Absolute pinnacle, my left actuator.
Oh, great, my robot counterpart, Gnathos.
Correct. And I'm not gonna sit around sleep mode and permit you to deceive this poor audience when there exists a vastly superior Pokemon that can do everything your reptile can do, and do it better.
Oh, are we seriously doing this?
Indubitably. Ladies, gentlemen, etc., I present to you the Paradox Pokemon of the future, the Iron Serpent Miraidon. The electric and dragon-type Miraidon is an automaton molded after the Pokemon Cyclizar, while the many models of robot Pokemon were brought to the past by a time machine created by a scientist with zero concern for maintaining ecological stability.
I covered that part already.
Well, all good information deserves to be repeated.
Not when you're gonna bore my audience with redundant details. Why am I even entertaining this? Get off my New plasma cutter?
Modeled it off of Iron Valiant's blades.
Neat.
Now, as I was saying, Miraidon can transform his body to conquer Paldea's terrain. Drive mode, clock mode, glide mode, Miraidon is built for all-terrain travel. And by turning his hind legs into jet turbines, and by converting his throat and tail into wheels, it can do so with the greatest of ease. Tell me something, Tuna Breath. Can your animal turn its throat sack into a wheel?
But no, of course not. You know it's anatomically possible for biological organisms to twist their bodies this way. A body like that would outright sever the connection to the muscles and blood vessels each time they try to move. That's why the idea of an owl turning its head all the way around is a complete myth. Doing so would separate its head from its body.
Yes, precisely.
Indeed.
Which is why my creature is better than yours.
Yeah. What? No!
Don't deny it. You know my robot Pokemon are better than those outdated precursors. Robot animals are the way of the future, after all.
Excuse me?
You heard me right. Even as we speak, bioengineers are applying facets from nature to the development of robots and technology. This field of bio-inspired robotics has produced such marvelous machinations, like robot manta rays that are set to aid in underwater exploration, snake-like robots that can slither around places that are out of human reach, swarm robots inspired by the cooperative behavior of insects like ants that work together to achieve a common goal, and robot octopi, whose soft hydrostatic limbs are set to usher in the construction of machines with non-rigid bodies. The field of robotics won't be limited to just humanoid forms. The entire animal kingdom shall play a role in the advancement of technology, and they will match, nay, exceed, the biological processes exhibited by naturally born organic life forms.
Are you sure trying to surpass nature is a wise idea? I think you see enough to know what happens to those who underestimate it.
A well-founded concern, but with all due respect to all the wondrous creatures of biodiversity throughout the worlds, it is merely inevitable for us machines to come out on top. Take Miraidon's proficiency in Pokemon battles, for example. When flying upright in his ultimate mode, Miraidon's Hadron engine generates massive amounts of electricity for attacks like his signature move, Electro Drift. It also discharges excess electricity to supercharge itself and its mechanized allies.
Yeah, because a Tyranitar that can't even summon a sandstorm needs all the help it can get.
I heard that! Do you understand? Miraidon was specifically designed to be finer than beasts like yours. It is stronger, faster, and can do everything your creature could do without rest. Its source of power is most efficient, after all.
And what would this power source be, exactly?
Sandwiches.
Sandwiches?
Sandwiches.
Why would anyone build a robot that's powered by sandwiches?
Why wouldn't anyone build a robot that's powered by sandwiches?
Fair point. But relevant. Koraidon is still the better one. Mine doesn't need to get an oil change every 2 weeks.
Oh! Well, at least mine won't fall on top of you after having a muscle cramp.
At least mine doesn't blue screen while they're climbing a cliff.
At least mine doesn't smell like dirty feathers and leftover potato salad.
At least mine doesn't look like a
what? It doesn't look like a what? Well, I say it looks like a rocket.
Oh, yeah, it sure does look like a rocket, alright.
Yes, a rocket. The perfect shape to penetrate the air and thrust through all obstacles that stand in its way.
Oh no, why?
This arguing is leading us nowhere. If we want to see who surpasses who, there's only one clear way to do so.
Of course, a battle.
What? No, they're both dragon types with the same speed. It'll literally come down to a coin toss.
Oh yeah, you're right. Well, how are we selling this then?
one lap around the Great Crater. First one to return to the spot claims superiority.
Sounds fair. I hope you remember to refuel that thing.
Let's see if your lizard's musculature even has the stamina to keep up. Just try catching up to her. Hey, get out of the road!
Eat dust, tin can!
I got it.
Oh, hey, coming through! Whoa! Whoa! Well, how do you think you're gonna catch up to me now?
Well, it's very easy. I just take a shortcut.
But hey! Hey! What do you think you're doing? That's cheating!
No, it's not cheating. It's called going off-road. Anyway, time to fire off the Nitrox boosters.
You put Nitrox on that thing!
Calculations complete. This is the most optimal route. Oh my god! There we go.
Oh, watch it. What's happening? Yeah, that was what I was trying to do. Oh, what's the matter, Cog? You running out of fuel?
Don't get too cocky, meatbag. This race is only halfway over. Hey, get out of the road! How did I... Where am I?
Coming over!
Come back here! Oh, forget this. I'm taking another shortcut.
Hey, stop that!
Oh, make me. Hey, shark. Do you even understand the predicament you're in? We have built-in GPS software and a constant stream of data optimizing our performance. That antique of yours simply can't compete.
Keep talking. These antiques still have one advantage over you.
Oh yeah? Well with that. Whoa! Good freak. Have you seriously devolved into throwing balls at me? Is that what this has come to? Oh, it's in my ports.
And thus, everyone, is why Koraidon is the greatest mount in the Omni-Bestiary. What's going on over there? Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have been messing around so much.
Well, at least this couldn't get any worse.